All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikakwadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. This lesson is entitled, Great Wrath is Coming to Babylon. Great wrath is coming to Babylon. All right. So right now, we're being tracked through every Wi-Fi device. Flock cameras scan our phones, allowing law enforcement to track us anywhere. Palantir software can connect to any Ring door camera. All right. So the movie The Minority Report is now here. All right. Algorithms track and store all of our thoughts. All right. When you are on your phones, is storing all your thoughts and everything that you do on social media. All right. And it's storing them into these data centers, these cloud centers. Okay. All right. So the elites, they want to be like the Most High, tracking and knowing your every move. All right. So great wrath is coming. They're coming out with new draconian laws and measures. Okay. Let's read Revelation chapter 12 and 12. Go ahead and read that. Revelation 12 and 12. And it reads, Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. And it's a short time for Esau, Edom to rule. All right, we hit America, Babylon the Great hit 250 years. All right, and that is usually the number when an empire falls. Okay, statistically, all right, theoretically, we'll say. Okay, so let me let you listen to a few videos here real quick.
The share of left-wing terrorist attacks and plots has risen to levels not seen in decades. And all here in the United States, the share of left-wing terrorist attacks and plots has risen to levels not seen in decades. An all-out assault on our immigration officers, sniper attacks, explosives, armed ambushes, multiple assassination attempts on a sitting president, and the murder of the greatest conservative activist of a generation. This is a distinctive and unique evil. It has always been driven by a hatred, above all else, a hatred for civilization itself. It is a revolt of the worst against the best, a revolt of the weak and the cowardly against the strong and the good. It is perpetrated by those who cannot build, who cannot create, who cannot achieve great things, and take their revenge upon the world for their own inadequacy by seeking to destroy those who can. This is what radical leftism is. It is a poisonous resentment cloaked in the language of equality and justice, liberation, an overwhelming need to tear down what greater men have built, to wreck what is beautiful and what is right on behalf of people who are only filled with ugliness and have nothing else to offer the world. Through violence and through terror, they once again seek to impose their ugliness on all of us. For these architects of revolutionary violence, the towering achievement of our civilization, for them, it's an unbearable humiliation, a reminder of what they cannot do and a reminder of what they cannot be. So they choose instead to destroy. It is time for the people of the civilized world to defend ourselves, to stand united against this encroaching darkness and fight for what is ours. Here in the United States, the share of...
So you heard what Mark Rubio had to say. All right, so they're coming after citizens. All right, let's look at another video.
A 16-page counterterrorism. The White House just published a 16-page counterterrorism strategy vowing to kill American citizens that they deem enemies. Quote, "We will find you and we will kill you." Signed by President Donald J. Trump. And I want us to pay close attention to the language of this document. Because the last time white supremacists published a document, a lot of people said, fuck that document, I ain't reading that shit, it is what it is. And then 53% of the goals in Project 2025 actually became reality, like the regression of voting rights across the country, the rollback of LGBT rights, the decimation of the Department of Education, and a dramatic increase in military budgets for more wars, among many other things. Like Project 2025, this document also has a lot of propaganda that's used to justify their bigger motives ahead of time, because in it, they use a lot of coded language that emboldens white supremacists for what's to come. For example, it says, last year I rightfully designated the deadly cartels as terrorist organizations and began using the strength and power of the U.S. military to stop and destroy their operations. Now here's the key difference between what they say and what actually happens. Because if you remember, on day one, Trump did sign an executive order that designated drug cartels as terrorists. But that executive order included two very specific gangs. One was Tren de Aragua and the second one was La Mara Salvatrucha, also known as MS-13. Both of those gangs are from South America, and the importance of that is that they needed to designate gangs from South America as a code to greenlight the racial profiling of everyone who just looks South American, using the lie that they are MS-13 to legally justify their illegal deportations even as U.S. citizens. Because that's exactly what they did to Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man that they illegally deported to El Salvador, claiming he was MS-13, where it was then found by a judge that he wasn't MS-13 at all. So now that we know that this is their strategy, who else are they coming after? Well, the counterterrorism strategy is specifically saying Americans have witnessed the political motivated killings of Christians and conservatives committed by violent, left-wing extremists. Now let's be very clear, that left-wing extremist label is a label that conservatives use to call anyone who disagrees with them. But then they go on to say, quote, counterterrorism activities will prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideologies are anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist. We will use all the tools constitutionally available for us to map them at home, identify their membership, and use law enforcement tools to cripple them operationally before they can maim and kill the innocent. They're talking about anyone who isn't MAGA. They're saying that they will deem anyone who isn't MAGA a left-wing extremist and un-American to legally justify surveilling you, finding you in your home, and neutralizing you. And by neutralize...
So you heard that yourself, all right? All right, the Trump administration, all right, they already came out with the firing squad. He wants to be able to kill people with firing squad. So we are here, okay? We are here, all right? They're coming down with great wrath. That's what's coming, all right? That is what's coming, all right? So, and that's what this lesson is all about, okay? All right, so they're tracking everyone, okay? Everyone is being tracked, all right, right now, okay? When you pass by the flock cameras, all right, they can track your phone that's on your person, okay? All right, and get all your data from you, okay? Okay, and they're gonna use this to arrest and capture you wherever you are, okay? So let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2. Go to the Bible here, okay? 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 3, and you notice how he said they went after the South American terrorists so they can come down on all of the so-called people of the Americas. You understand? And they are Israelites. A lot of them are Israelites, okay, from the northern kingdom. All right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And that is Esau, Edom. All right. They were risen back up in the 1300s, the so-called white man. That was the Romans. Okay. The Greco-Romans are back. The pagan Romans are back today. Okay. ruling. They rule the whole planet Earth. Okay. And that's why it says, for the mystery of iniquity, sin upon sin, does already work. They were already wicked. They are the wicked in the earth. Okay. Only he who now letteth will let. That's the Most High, is allowing Esau, Edom, to carry out his worst in the earth, only to destroy him. Okay, that's at Romans chapter 9 and 17. You can read that. Until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed. He's being revealed by the prophets, the men of the Lord, on highways and hedges every day, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. Again, the mouthpiece of the Lord is the prophets, the men of the Lord, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders. Okay, and this is what this technocratic society is all about. The Palantir software to track the Ring cameras, all right, the Flock cameras, in order when you pass by them, they're actually reading any Wi-Fi device that you may have. Okay, this is a part of the Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. Okay, and it says, let me read that again. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9, even him. Okay, so it's a people, it's a nation, it's the nation of Esau that's leading this. Okay, along with the other nations have agreed, all right, to bring forth this new world order all around the earth, a one world government, religion, and so forth. All right, in November they're voting or something like that on the Noahide laws, in which they want to use these laws as a way to be able to convict you of idolatry. Okay, what in the world happened? Hold on a second here. Hold on. Yeah, I must have hit something. Salakia. All right. Yeah, they want to convict you of idolatry. Okay, so that's what's coming in November, the Noahide laws. Okay, the small hats are trying to bring that forth. The small hats of ruling class people in Israel. Okay, that's who we call the small hats. Okay, all right. So again, even him who's coming is after the working of Satan. All right, that's Esau, Edom, with all power, signs, and lying wonders. All right. So Matthew chapter 24 and 21. Matthew 24 and 21. And it reads, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Because if the Lord allows the so-called white man to continue on in his ways, he'll destroy us all. All right. They've now tokenized water on the stock market. That's what they're trying to do. I don't know if they've done it yet. Okay. The data centers are soaking up all the water from the freshwater streams. Okay, so what the Lord is saying is that they're madmen. Okay, so if he doesn't get rid of them, take them out of power and ruling the earth, they'll kill us all. Okay, you heard Bill Gates say, he's getting all the farmland, right? And he's saying, look, you're gonna eat lab-grown meat. All right, he's already got that meat product out, so they're all in for trying to be like the Most High. Okay, genetically modified food, patented food, so they can say they created it. You understand? That's how crazy they are. Okay, but we're just pointing it out to you, Jeremiah. The direction we're headed, it ain't good. Okay, 70. Just remember, 70 billion has been put into the Mr. Freeze and the ice. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, ice. the agency. 73 billion. Okay, I just come out and say it's verse 30. Jeremiah 30 and 5 through 7. For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is grace, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, so you see that. So the Lord is going to allow Jacob's trouble to take place, and it's already taken place. All right, the northern kingdom, all right, these so-called Hispanics of the tribes, okay, are being deported out of here and put into these detention centers. All right, and these are for-profit detention centers. Okay, so it's being traded. The stocks are being traded on these detention centers. So that's the new American dream for these elites, all right, to lock us up. Okay, so you need to understand that. All right, remember they murdered a whole nation of people, the Palestinians. Okay, so what do you think they're going to do to us? They don't care. That's why they got the detention centers ready, okay, to throw you in it. And they are approving these laws, okay, firing squads, guillotines, right? So just understand. And also they're slowly coming against the Bible and people ministering. Over in Canada, they outlawed the Bible, okay? I mean, as hate speech, and they're doing the same here. Okay. All right, let's go to Amos 8 and 11. I don't know why that's happened. It never happened before. Amos 8 and 11, and it reads, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Okay, so you have to understand this truth is going to end. Okay, in America, Babylon the Great, it's going to be outlawed. Okay, all right. The in the Noahide laws that they're trying to talk about in November. If you're considered a Christian, that means you're you're worshiping Yahushua, the one they call Jesus. All right, they call that idolatry. Okay, so and the sentence and the punishment is death. Okay, you will be beheaded. So everything's falling in line with the scriptures. Okay, let's get that at Revelation chapter 20, so you can understand the magnitude and the people that are ruling the earth. Is it 6? Yeah, it's right here. Revelation 20 and 4. All right. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, or Yahushua. Okay. And for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. So you see that? You saw the souls of them that were beheaded. So see, everything is lining up. Okay, all the prophecies are coming to pass in the earth. All right. All right, so let's go to Isaiah 29 and 21. Okay. And it says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. That's the prophets. and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. All right. Let me start from 20. That don't sound right. Salaki. What's going on with this Bible app? All right. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and that will be Esau, Edom, ruling the earth. And the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make a man an offender for a word. That's the prophets, the men of the Lord, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. Okay, where we're trying to reprove our people, get them to turn back to the Lord, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Okay, and that's what they do. Okay, they're gonna make a man an offender for a word. So if you're out here teaching the word, they're gonna lock you up. Okay, that's really what that's saying. Psalms 94 and 21, and it reads, so we don't have a lot of time to serve the Lord. Okay, it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law? And that's what they're doing. They're going to do. They're going to frameth mischief by a law. Okay, all right. Let me keep reading. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, our power, shall cut them off. Okay? So they frame of mischief by laws. Okay, this new law they're trying to come up with is this terrorist thing, you know, coming after U.S. citizens. All right, just like in the Minority Report. Okay, using algorithms to track you and decide, you know, what your next move is. All right, let's go to Revelation 2 and 10. And it reads, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, all right, and that will be Esau, Edom, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So that's what's fast approaching upon us, all right? All right, these draconian laws, okay, unrighteous decrees. All right, Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. Highlight that there. And it reads, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. You see that? So that's what's coming. All right. They're going to deliver up the men of the Lord and anyone who opposes them. Okay. All right. And we've been saying that this whole time. All right. I'll read this final scripture, Psalms chapter 140 through 10. This is King David. All right. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Deliver me, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. There goes that word mischief. Continually are they gathered together for war. Okay, you can see that with Esau, even they continually gathered together for war. Only 20 years of peace in America, Babylon the Great, out of 250. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent's adder. Adder's poison is under their lips, Selah. Keep me, O Lord, Yahweh Shai, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me, and that those are traps. I said unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Thou art my power. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O power, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Selah. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into fire, into deep pits, that they rise not again, up not again. And that's the prayer of King David. Okay, and that's our prayer. Okay, that the Lord deliver us out of the hand of the evil man. Okay, and preserve me from the violent man. Okay, so it's been a great wrath is coming. All right, in Babylon. Shalom.